My name is Lorraine. I'm an Education Specialist candidate in Instructional Technology at Kennesaw State University. This capstone project features my applied field research titled Assistive Technology Software and Attitude Towards Writing. Beginning in the early elementary grades, students are expected to do a significant amount of writing to demonstrate what they know. The Common Core standards set high expectations for writing with deep understanding and higher order thinking skills. So what happens when children struggle with writing? Internet searches generate thousands of suggestions, ranging from scholarly papers to blogs and advertisements, and this indicates that there's widespread concern for finding solutions to these struggles. The problem with finding a solution is that writing is so complex. Writing involves ideas, mechanics, revision, graphomotor skills, and motivation. Motivation to write is complex all by itself. Does proficiency in writing improve motivation, or does motivation to write affect proficiency in writing? Either way, engagement and motivation for school activities have been examined frequently. And generally, if students feel they have the capability to complete a task, they're more likely to be engaged and successful. Because this research focuses on the effectiveness of an assistive technology software, I want to point out the difference between technology and assistive technology. In general, for people with normal abilities, technology makes doing things easier. For people with disabilities, technology makes doing things possible. The difference is the function of the technology. So this chain of elements combine to build the importance of this study. Writing is a highly important skill in school. Writing deficits tend to impact all other subjects. Most at-risk students and students with disabilities struggle with writing. Attitude and success in school are intertwined, and the software in question is a common AT solution for students with disabilities. The purpose of my study was to see if students who use assistive technology software have more positive attitudes towards writing than their peers who don't use the software. If the data indicates that the users of the software have more motivation, then further study could correlate this motivation with gains in writing. It would be beneficial for teachers to have a better understanding of what factors are important to make their students more successful. Literature on this subject fell into three categories: students with physical disabilities, students with learning disabilities, and theoretical papers and reviews. Overall, research on the topic is limited in scope and quantity. Sample sizes tended to be small, and other subgroups such as students with cognitive impairments or English language learners were underrepresented. There was no literature available comparing attitude towards writing while using the software. The participants in my study were 19 students in middle and high school who attend small group self-contained classes. Some of the students in these classes use AT on a regular basis, and others do not. The software used by the students is the Co-Writer 6 software. It provides word prediction and text-to-speech audio feedback. Additionally, there are topic dictionaries that drive the word prediction. Watch now to see a short demonstration of how the software works.
If you don't know how to spell a word, Co-Writer can be a big help. For example, if I wanted to write the sentence, "The giraffes roller skate," what I'll do is I'll start the sentence. And I'm not quite sure how to spell giraffes, so the best thing to do is just try typing how I think it's spelled. So I spelled giraffes, J-R-A-F-S, and then I can scroll over the guesses to listen to them if I need that support.
Drafts, drives, giraffes.
And once I heard giraffes, I'm going to choose that.
Giraffes.
And that'll insert it into my document. Now I want roller skate. And I can see that roller skate came up number 1, so I'll choose number 1 on my keyboard.
Roller skate.
And I'll insert roller skate into my document.
The giraffes roller skate.
Because my participants were students that I have regular access to, They're considered a convenient sample, and therefore my research uses a quasi-experimental design. The two groups of students that I compared were unequal in size, but they all took the writing attitude survey, and I compared the scores of the survey between the students who use the AT and the students who do not use the AT software. The writing attitude survey is nationally normed and has high reliability. The 4-point Likert scale features the Garfield character, showing emotions from very happy to very unhappy. It's a simple and engaging way for students to tell how they feel about various writing tasks. When completed, each participant has a raw score and a percentile. So I gave the surveys to the students during their language arts classes while their teachers were in the room. I followed the instructions on the survey and told students they were not being tested, but they should be very honest with their answers. Higher scores mean more positive attitudes, and you can see here that the students who use the AT software had a mean score of 80 with a range of 44, and the students who do not use the AT software had a mean score of 77 with a range of 53. The data analysis I used for the unequal groups indicates that there's no significant difference between the two groups. In my opinion, the research question was not answered. The sample size prevents drawing a conclusion for or against the influence of the software on the students' attitudes towards writing. However, this data would have been useful as a baseline for a correlation between writing progress and attitude. Also, open-ended comments would add helpful qualitative data. And I believe that further study is certainly warranted.
Reflecting on this project, I can identify challenges that caused me frustration and affected the impact of the research, as well as celebrations that helped me see that the project was worthwhile. Less positive was the timing of the approval process, which prevented me from completing a correlational investigation. I wanted to see if the software affected both the improvement in the writing process as well as the students' motivation to write, and how all those three pieces were interrelated. Another possibility that I didn't have time for was getting data from more students and therefore having a bigger sample size. And I feel that my research was very important, but it would have had more impact if I could have come to a more definitive conclusion. However, I do believe that my research was helpful because it emphasizes the importance of collecting data on the assistive technology solutions, and it also provides insight for a subgroup that has not been widely studied. Some of the most positive aspects of the project were, first of all, the survey itself. I love using this survey. I have used it and also a similar survey on reading motivation to find ways to motivate my students. I loved delving into the research. Every study I read gave me another set of resources to examine, and I really enjoyed that. And finally, working with the students themselves, because I don't teach in a classroom every day. The students that I do serve are still my primary focus, and everything I do is for their benefit. So overall, I believe that the project had a lot of importance, even though it didn't have the impact that I wanted from the beginning.